Okay, so I had a crazy meditation today, February 4th, from 1 to 2 p.m. I was not expecting it. I was just going through my regular meditation, and I've been practicing 20 minutes a day. I had my binaural beats that helped me get into a theta brainwave to relax, and everything was the same. I was on an empty stomach, a complete empty stomach, so I could hear my stomach grumbling. I was sitting on the couch, not on the floor. But essentially what happened, like I saw this really bright white light, and this was in my mind's eye, not with my eyes. I had my eyes closed, but I was looking straight ahead. Then all of a sudden I saw this white light coming from above my head, and it was just a stream, like a spotlight at first, and it just shone down like crazy, like white, like you can't see, like you had to squint, like that kind of bright. And at first it was a spotlight, and I looked up, and I kind of in my mind questioned, like, what is that? Like, who is that? What is that? So as soon as I said that, the light just came down, like completely engulfing my body. Like every cell of my body was covered in this light, and it was just so bright and like just perfectly white. And as soon as I started to feel that, it responded, and like in my head I heard God, right? Like this is God. And I started to feel a sensation of like just complete like rapture, like love that was like in every single cell of my body. And this was happening in seconds, right? And I was just like surrendering to it, and I wasn't scared at all because I had, protection around me. And I just started to have a dialogue with God in a meditation. And I, still thinking about it kind of sounds crazy, but I was in the moment, and like my body was entirely covered with this white light from the inside out. And I was just like, after that happened for like a second, all of a sudden just I could feel my heart bursting, like from the inside. I felt a burst, and just all of it just came gushing out, all the white light everywhere. And I started crying and weeping. It was actually more of the word, like physically weeping. And I could hear myself weeping, and like I could sort of feel the tears and the streaming down my face, but it was almost like from an observer standpoint, not from like me, right? But it was me, obviously, but I was merged with God. So I just kept feeling like this immense love, like it was just covering me everywhere from the inside out, and I was merging with it. And I still want to get choked up about it, but like it was just inside me, and I was with him, with God, him or her, and he or she was having dialogue with me, and I was crying, and I kept saying, how could I forget? How could I forget? How could I forget what you feel like? How could I forget what it's like to be with you? How could I forget? Like, how could I forget this emotion, this sensation? Like you're just, there was so much love, the immensity of the love, and it was just dissolving me. Like every part of me dissolved into it. It wasn't even like a physical person. Like it was just crazy how I just just literally blurred into it and became part of it. And I was just crying and crying, and I couldn't stop crying, and I couldn't stop having gratitude for the love that was just feeling. And I was asking him, I was like, is this eternal? Like this is what eternal means. This is what you mean by eternal love. Like it's never ending. I don't see the end of this. And I see the rapture. I see the like being just completely from top to bottom immersed in it, like and actually not even immersed in it, you dissolve into it. So I dissolved into the energy, and meanwhile I was crying. My hair was in my face, and I was covered in tears, and I couldn't really move, nor was I like necessarily trying to move to wipe the tears. It was just like I was almost like locked into it, And I just was having a dialogue, and I was asking him, like, how could I forget? I just could not get over the fact that I had forgotten, like, what something so immensely loving felt like it was just the most love you've ever felt in your life, and multiply that by like infinity, and it's inside of your cells, inside of your body, and it just, you dissolve into the energy. And I was saying, like, wow, like, so people, when they pass away, this is what they feel. They feel you again. And then he or she confirmed, yes, like, this is like what happens, and that's why they don't want to come back. But I felt like it's a gift, and like, I need to spread the message that this happened to me, that it's real, that we don't have to wait till we cross over, and that we don't have to wait until our lives become so full of despair, and that we feel so lost and disconnected and in pain, for him to come into our lives again. That this can happen in any which way you want. It doesn't have to be a meditation. For me, it was in a meditation, because that's my form of prayer. But it could be in your form of prayer. It can be taking care of your kids. It can be while you're riding a bike, while you're doing whatever. Like, it is just so accessible. And it's just that, how can we forget? I can't get over how we can forget that this exists, that this power, this immensity of love, and this never-ending fountain of love. That's what I could describe it as. It was like never-ending. I couldn't see the end of it. It was infinite, and it was real, and it was just like insane. And meanwhile, the whole time, I'm like just weeping. I mean, weeping out loud. I could hear my cries, and I just kept telling him or her, I was like, I'm not sad, don't worry, I'm not sad, I promise. It's just like, there's so much emotion inside of me, that this is the only way my human body knows how to express it. And they were just coming out of me, like just tears were coming out, like wailing, like I was literally wailing and just crying, like I had, I don't know, I can't even describe what I was like thinking, because I wasn't thinking. It was more of an emotional reaction and an inner world knowing that I had met God, and I was with him for whatever time I was with him or her, and he gave me a gift. And I was so grateful. I couldn't stop thanking him. I kept thanking and thanking and thanking and thanking and thanking him. And I just, he told me, he's like, even when we stray away to paths that people perceive to be bad, I'm still there. I'm still there. I still wait, because I can see the potential. I can see who the person is. I see them. And I will always welcome them back. I will always be here. And I couldn't, I was like, am I deserving of this? And he said, you're absolutely deserving. And I couldn't believe that I was so deserving. Like, how could me, my tiny little human self, be deserving of this immensity? And he said, you are. And I agreed. And I know I surrendered to it. I said, yes, I am worthy of this. I am worthy of your love. And, I kept thanking him and thanking him and thanking him. And just everything was just dissolved. Nothing existed in that moment. Like, nothing that I knew existed. Everything was just gone. Like, it was just me and him or her, and he was me and I was him, and then everything I ever knew was me, and everything I've ever known was me. It was like a merge of everything. And he explained, or she explained, that this is it. Like, this is the only point of existence, and that everything is still happening around you, but this is really you're everybody. We're all each other. We're not separate. And he showed me what that meant, that it was all a unification of the soul, that we're never, it's an illusion that we're separate, that we're each other. And I started thinking about family members and loved ones, and I could see them the way he sees them. And I was just crying and crying and crying because I thought about like my family and my loved ones, and I was like, that's how you see us? He sees us, these most majestic beings in our light. He sees that. He or she sees that, and that's all he or she sees. They see the beauty in that we're a part of him. He never sees the other things. And that forgiveness and that level of love is just something that I couldn't even begin to fathom in my tiny, brain of my human brain. But I mean, I could tell you what my heart felt, and my heart felt it exploded everywhere in the room. I exploded, and every cell in my body exploded. And I could, start to see, and I opened my eyes a little bit, and I saw my plants that I have in my house, and I started crying even more because I was like, they're me, I'm them. And I kept thanking him. I was like, you created this, everything around me that you've ever given me, that I've ever had, that I've ever known is something you created. And he said, or she said, no, we co-created this, we're together. And you're a part of this too. And I was just so thankful. I was just so thankful. Everything that was a part of me, even the non-organic things like my desk and my chair, it just started becoming me. And everything was me. And I was grateful for even that. Like, I couldn't believe that someone loved me that much, or loved us that much, for all of this to be at the disposal of us at any given point, and him having the level of forgiveness, no matter how far we stray, for him to come and receive us or her with open arms. That was just blowing my mind. And I just was so thankful. Like, and I told him, I said, I don't think I can tell you enough thank yous in my whole lifetime. I don't think I can, I don't think I can express it, at least from this point of view, from the human point of view. I don't think I can. And it was just like an immense gratitude that I can't even describe, that I felt and love back. And I said, kind of like I kept slipping back into, am I worth it? Or am I worthy? And he kept reminding me, you're worthy, you're worthy. We're a part of each other. Don't worry. Don't worry. And I kept telling him, I was like, how can I forget? Please don't let me forget this moment. Please don't let me ever forget. Please don't let me ever forget. I just kept telling him, her, I kept telling, don't let me forget. Let this be a part of my conscious memory. And I want to live the rest of my life knowing that you exist, that this is available to me at any point, and you are me and I am you. And he said, that is up to you, and you can do it. You can stay in this consciousness with me, and you can stay connected at all times. We're always connected. I'm always there. I'm always here. Everything is an illusion, and everything was an illusion for that moment. And I just kept going back to that gratitude and that love that I felt, and it was inside of me. And I want everyone to experience that, and not to wait till we transition out of this life to experience that we have to be heaven on earth, that we are him here, that we're a part of him, that we're a spark of him or her, that we carry that in our heart, and that we can't forget that. We are the light that lights up the world. We are not separate from him or her. Like, he made us from him, as Jesus said. And this is not religious or like any type of religion. I'm not, going Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, whatever. This is like outside of religion. This is like completely outside of it. And with it, like with God, like outside of anything you've ever known. And I know other people have NDEs and they experience this and then they come back. Like, I literally had the biggest gift of my life to be able to see and experience the immensity of his love and the way he or she gives in my life while I'm living. And I can't forget that, and I have to pay it forward for everybody. And last thing I'll say is, like, when I was crying, I offered my tears. I felt compelled to offer my tears for Mother Nature, for my mother, for the mother that is letting me borrow a part of her as I'm living and breathing in this body. that I am part of her, that it is in her elements and her material that I have this body. And I kept saying, like, thank you, Mother, that you help me be here every day. And I want to be giving back to you, that you give so much and you also forgive equally like God does. And you also receive your children day in and day out, trying to fix the things that we break. And I just kept, crying and crying and crying. And I just told her, I offer you these tears as a transmutation of the love that I'm receiving from God to you. I said, I want you to receive them. I want you to receive these tears. And I kept offering them to her and like just giving her the love that I was feeling at the time. And I was just so grateful for her too, and told her that I'm here to support her, that we're all here to support her, and that we're in the moment in our life when, or in the moment in time when we are back with her too. That we realize that from dust we enter, and from dust we leave. So she's just letting us borrow her space and her energy. But we can't forget that it's ultimately should be respected and loved in an equal manner. So I just wanted to share that crazy experience that I had. And from this point forward, like I have a mission to share this information with others and make sure they know that you can be heaven on earth, that it's not separate from you, it's not outside of you. You don't have to keep looking up or in a book or whatever you think it may be, though those ways might also take you to God. It's not for me to say how you'll get there. That's your choice. That's your path, your journey. I'm not here to offer you the way that it should be done. I'm here to give you the information that it can be done in any which way that you want. That's up to you. That's up to your choice. So I'm going to keep spreading this gift with the world. And I am so grateful for this moment. I'm so grateful for February 4th, 2026 at 1 p.m., where I entered into a space with God. And he or she was with me in the entirety of my body, without anything in the way, just a complete stream of energy. And I was able to anchor that and share it with Mother Nature, and she shared everything with me up until this point. So with that being said, with love and light, I give to you.